Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator here, and in this video we'll talk about 5 features that have changed Star Citizen for the better, I don't know, for the worse, maybe for some of you guys, but you guys tell me in the comment section down below. But anyway, 5 features, and we'll talk about the first one right here. I think that one of the features that changed the game the most is this one right here, the Mo Trader, which is basically enabling player-to-player transactions, and I think that this is extremely important because thanks to this app you can very conveniently pay people when they work for you. For example, you are in a trade convoy, or if they help you for jump down or secure some profit that you wouldn't have secured otherwise. And well, you can actually search for your friends. Of course, sometimes it's not working. It's supposed to be working, but here it doesn't work anyway. Or you can just browse them through the little browser where you have all of your friends. Here you go. I'm going to send my good buddy Admiral Gruffus 270,000 Alpha UEC because he helped me with jump down a little bit earlier, a couple of days ago, stealing some boxes from another player. And we went all the way to the station where we were able to sell them. If I wasn't for him, I would not have been able to do that. And I think that this really has encouraged people to collaborate a little bit more, simply because it has become a little bit easier. Now, sure, in the past, we could use, for example, a beacon, a transport beacon, which was very clunky and weird, and you had to wait for a certain amount of minutes until finally all the funds were transferred, and it was just not really how it was intended. Now, this is the intended way of transferring money to players, and it's just absolutely awesome that it works, and it makes the whole Star Citizen experience much better when you play with other people. Next is the actor status in Star Citizen. Now, this is the system that forces you to eventually get some drinks or food because your character is going to get hungry and especially thirsty. And if it gets a little bit too thirsty, then you may eventually die, so that's not something that you want. Now, right now I'm at a food stall here trying to buy some hot dogs. Now, those NPCs are not very interactable. You have to interact with the food directly, but this is temporary. In the future, we're going to be able to talk directly to the vendor, also already as early as 3.17, so that we can buy our food directly from the vendor and say, hey, I want a hot dog. But as of right now, that's not the case. But nevertheless, still a very important feature. It started with the food and the drinks, and then we had actor status V2, which then took under consideration health as well as all the chemicals that we put inside our bodies. Gonna have to be really careful there when we take some drugs to, for example, heal ourselves, because if we take too much doses, then eventually our character is going to feel dizzy or maybe get an overdose and die. And that's not going to be the only way you're going to take care of your character. In the future, we're going to have actor status V3, which is what I call the poop update, which is going to make us go to the bathroom to take a shower or to do a numero uno y dos, if you see what I mean. And if you don't do that, then eventually our reputation is going to decrease with certain factions of NPCs, or their reaction towards us is also going to be different. They will not talk to us, or maybe prices will be more expensive, or they'll just tell us to go away. Just like in other games, like for example Kingdom Come Deliverance, if you don't take a shower, that's what the NPCs say. So that's very important here, taking care of our characters. At the beginning, when Star Citizen was just released, even at the beginning of 3.0, none of that did not really matter. We were just doing our thing. We could have continuous gameplay session for 2, 3, 4 hours without having the need to eat or drink, and it just was not very immersive. The reason why they do that is because CIG want us to take care of our character, feel more involved with our characters, and if we feel emotionally involved, then they believe that we're gonna have a better experience, and so do I. I really think that it does work, and it makes me, care about whatever I do. But on top of that, it's also very important to prepare for your excursion, knowing that, you go to this area which doesn't have any supplies. You're gonna have to bring those supplies in advance, put them from your inventory at the landing zones into your ship, buy them in advance, because you know that next time you're gonna do this kind of activity, but you will maybe not have time to buy some of the supplies that you need. So these are also things that you need to take under consideration. The next item I want to talk about is the Capacitor System, which came with Star Citizen of 3.13, and this actually changed the way that we fight in Star Citizen. Before, especially when you had lasers, you could just fire pretty much anything whenever you wanted, and it would only stop firing when you would overheat or when your power plant would be failing. But now with the capacitor system, it's completely different, and it stops firing when, for example, the capacitors are empty. Now, if you look on the right side of my screen, you can see 4 NN14 guns. These are the guns that I have on this cutlass, by the way. Here they go. These are not the stock guns of the cutlass, but I like to have those guns with me simply because, well, they just look cool. A lot of people would have preferred to have Panther repeaters, for example, but I like my NN14s. Anyway, it's not the point. You can see that right now they all have 46 out of 46 shots, but if I shoot them, you can see that these numbers are depleting, and if I keep on shooting like this, it's going to be going all the way down to 0. And I think that this is very important, because what it means is that you now have to manage the way you shoot in Star Citizen, and especially if you want to have all firepower to the front, then you'll be shooting all your guns like this. But there may be also some situations in which you want to sustain fire, and you are probably going to start shooting the top guns, and then the second one, the lower guns, and then the primary group, and then secondary group. And if you do that, that's a good way to keep on depleting your enemy's shields, because one of the things that you have to also consider is that the shields do regenerate after some time if the ship is not being shot at. But by doing so, by adopting this strategy, then you're just shooting all the time and the shields do not regenerate. And this is a strategy that I like to adopt when I am fighting in Star Citizen, especially with this Cutlass Black. I know that a lot of people do not like the Cutlass Black. They don't think it's necessarily a good fighter. I just like this ship for its just like a good jack of all trades. You can do a little bit of trading, combat, scavenging maybe, or just doing a little bit of looting as well. Overall, I like it very much. Now, the next thing that is that came with this update is the missile operator mode, and we will be checking the missile operator mode later when we will be fighting. Here I'm on my way to a bounty mission, which unfortunately, these are those planetary surface bounty missions in atmosphere, not necessarily planetary surface, but atmosphere bounty missions. There are no direct points to those missions. I cannot jump directly to my target's known location, so I have to manually fly to his position. But when we'll be there, you can see here that I'm pressing the center button on my mouse. The gimbal is gone, and instead I have this missile operator mode. Here on the side, you can see that the guns have been replaced with the missile. Here we have Tempest 2. I also have some Arrestor 3 missiles that we can change. We can also change the amount of missiles that are going to be shot by pressing the G key. Now you can see 3 missiles. I press again, 4 missiles. And I press again, 3 missiles, and now 4 missiles. These are the that's the maximum. I cannot have 5. If I press G again, it's going to go back to 1. I think that 2 is already doing enough damage. 4 missiles against those ships that we're gonna see later is a little bit overkill in my opinion, but these are again, some of the changes that came in Star Citizen that have really changed the way we play the game. Before, you just had to get a to get a lock. Basically, you just had to press the center button of your mouse, and you would get a lock, and then press the center mouse again. Now there's an entire dedicated mode to it. For example, if I have the missile operator mode on, I cannot fire my lasers, which is why it's also something that the co-pilot can use as well. The co-pilot can use the missile operator mode and fire some missiles while you are busy shooting with your ship. So that's another reason why having a co-pilot is maybe a good idea and is going to give your ship more options when you are doing combat. There we go, it's a Mustang, and sending in the missiles right now. I think that the missiles have... I think that I have hit myself with the missiles. That is ridiculous. Okay, now the missiles have gone. Yeah, I literally hit myself with the missile, and boom! And so obviously one of the other items that changed the game in Star Citizen recently is the inventory system, which is completely revamped. Now it is physicalized, so that means that you are actually carrying on you the items that you need and that you collect throughout the verse. Here you can see that I'm doing a bunker mission, and so I am looting some of the NPCs and boxes that are found here in this bunker, and this is how also I am getting some free equipment for myself for future operations in Star Citizen. Now, this is going to be a very interesting feature because in Star Citizen about 3.17, it is going to be possible to sell those items at the kiosk to make some extra cash. Now, of course, we're still in 3.16.1 and the PTU for 3.17 has not started. I cannot tell you if that is worth or not, or if we're going to make much money or not, but nevertheless, it still is a much better improvement compared to what we used to have, where basically we had all of our inventory at our disposal, and it just didn't feel realistic. It didn't feel like there were consequences for our choices, simply because there wasn't any choice to make, just the purchases, and that was basically it. But now, instead of having everything that you have on you, you have to carry with you, and you have to leave what you don't need at your home base, meaning that, for example, if we check out the knick-knack system here, which is the app in the mobiGlas that lets you see whatever you have in your inventory. If I want to see what I have, well, my home base is ArcCorp Area 18, and there you see all of the items that I have left at ArcCorp, simply because, well, I don't need them wherever I am. So that's a very important game changer here that you have to also take in consideration if you haven't played Star Citizen for a while, or if you're new to Star Citizen. It's something that you are definitely going to be having to get used to. Oh, jeez. All right. All right. Here we go. So, Captain Hook has committed crime against you. That's great, guys, because this is going to lead me to the last thing that I want to talk about in this video, which is, let's accept here, which is, yes, accept. There we go. Which is the law system. Now, Star Citizen has a very interesting law system, because if you break the law, then you can see here, someone breaks the law, you can, for example, they kill you, they hurt you, you can press the charges, and then what's happening to them is very interesting, because all of a sudden, let's go into the mobiGlas right here. Bounty hunter, suspect, there we go. They have a bounty on their head, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to track this and go after them. Now, bad idea, Mr. Captain Hook, because when you do that, then players can be going after you, and they can be engaging into PvP, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to get some of my equipment. Let's go into the Galleria. I'm gonna go get some armor, some guns, and go back to Jumptown eventually. That is why Jumptown is so interesting, because, well, people are gonna come for you. They're gonna be fighting, and sometimes they're going to be committing crime as well. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Dragon Ghost and Axis for the bits and the subscriptions. You guys are absolutely awesome. I will see you guys next time for more content about Star Citizen. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. A huge shout out to everyone who's been helping me out on Patreon and via the YouTube Joint membership program. Creating content on YouTube involves continuous circles of ups and downs, and it is when we are the lower parts of the curve that your help really motivates me to keep on going. Your contribution really does make a difference, which is why in return I try to give back by offering backers access to my private Discord channel, automatic access to exclusive giveaways, or answering your questions during the show. You can help me out with as little as $1 a month, and any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching again. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.